hacer con ese motivo y esta es la primera.
So in English, we're going to a protest for the separation of parents and children from the border. And here in America, there's a lot of people that want to support the people, so there's a rally today. You can see we're standing here in the corner. 7-Eleven is all crowded. People are trying to use the bathrooms and all that. So it looks like a good turnout. And here we are going. We're all crossing the street, making our way there. And yeah.
Y quiero decir que espero ver más latinos allá porque sí me sorprende que es una causa, pues más que todo para nosotros los latinos, y veo casi solo gente, pues de aquí. No veo mucha latinada hasta ahorita, casi no, pero espero yo ver allá más gente porque deberíamos de ser los primeros apoyando.
All Americans are non-supportive. In case you didn't know, that is not the truth, because there's people out here that wouldn't be here otherwise supporting this cause, supporting separation of kids. I mean, separation your kids from your parents. Whoa, that's kind of serious. Pueden ver aquí.
Lamento que hasta ahora en la mañana en el Facebook vi a la convocatoria, la vi hasta ahora en la mañana, uno estaba en la cama y yo, ¿qué? Ahora, y pues le dije a James que nos viniéramos, pero pues que no hice ningún cartel. Eso, de haber sabido, creo, obviamente con tiempo hubiera hecho anoche un cartel o algo, con un flyer para apoyar, pero pues nos venimos solo con las manos, como dicen, porque pues hasta ahora me di cuenta y no tenía pues papel así grande en la casa para hacer algo. Lástima.
Alright, well, I'm about to eat, so I didn't eat no breakfast, so you guys catch us in a minute.
Refugee must go! The Trump regime must go! Why? Because this is a fascist regime. Millions of people like you, are waking up to this fact. And a fascist regime can continue moving away from power. A fascist regime will not go without a fight.
really good way to try and learn a little bit more the articles and everything like that. Yeah.
No en las circunstancias que están actualmente.
Whatever you want to do.
Oh, I have no idea. Sorry. We'll try to figure that out.
Sino también a los niños que están viviendo las atrocidades inhumanas que están haciendo.
So he's just trying to be right on the people, ain't he? Somebody said, dump Trump, dump Trump.
Y la administración no sabe ni siquiera dónde están.
There are still more than 2,000 children that haven't still been reunited with their parents, and the administration does not know where they are.
Nuestra demanda es clara y no negociable. Que la administración reúna a estas familias ahora.
Sí, ahora.
And it's non-negotiable.
Thank you to everyone who is here. This is an incredible crowd, and that sends a clear message. Thank you guys for responding to Congresswoman Jayapal's nationwide call. Self-created humanitarian crisis that the Trump administration created and refuses to take responsibility for. We must fight back to hold Trump and ICE accountable. On June 9th, I went into the SeaTac detention center, this detention center here, with Congresswoman Jayapal and heard the stories of mothers whose children were ripped from their arms. Mothers who were denied the opportunity to kiss or even say goodbye to their children. It makes me so emotional. And his attempts to divide us. Does not stand for families being separated and children being traumatized by our government. She knows what is right, and we all know the Trump administration's policies are wrong. We will continue to fight, and we will win. Say it with me. Families belong together. No human is illegal. Families belong together. No human is illegal. Families belong together. No human is illegal. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? So we're gonna do a quick chant to send a clear message to the folks who are inside there right now. Repeat after me. No! No! Están solas! Solas! No! No! Están solas! Solas! You are not alone! Thank you, folks. So my name is Montserrat Padilla. I am the statewide coordinator for the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network. The bread and butter of our work is to organize communities like you all here today to stand up and fight back when ICE shows up at the door of our neighbors. Family separation is nothing new. We have been experiencing this for decades now. Our goal here is to get at the root of the cause, which is end immigration detention once and for all.
Now imagine going to sleep and waking up, not knowing when your children are, or not knowing that. We demand that those parents who are here in CTAC are released immediately and reunited with their children. We must end immigration detention.
Northwest Immigrant Rights Project helped 3 mothers file a lawsuit on behalf of themselves and dozens of other parents who remain separated from their children. Our clients were part of the group of over 200 asylum seekers who were transferred from immigration jails, or as our clients put it, hieleras, ICE boxes, in Texas to federal prison here in SeaTac while waiting for immigration officials to begin processing their claims. Easy for them. They left their country and came to this country with their children seeking safety. Instead, immigration officials ripped their children from them without explanation. Boo! And as one client puts it, this is called secuestro, kidnapping. The 3 women have not seen their children for over a month. And they're representing many, many parents here in SeaTac and Tacoma who have also not seen their children. Some have not even been able to talk with them over the phone. Our client Ibis is incarcerated in Washington. Her 5-year-old son is in Texas. Blanca. This has been in existence for over a decade. Incarceration of immigrants is nothing new. As you see, the criminalization of immigrants continues.
We demand immediate and transparent reunification of all families, and we are here to say that we have zero tolerance for Trump's zero tolerance policy.
We will have zero tolerance for Trump's zero tolerance policy. And that's not where, and that isn't where our call for family reunification should end.
Thank you. I just want to thank you all for being here today. And it's really wonderful to see all these organizations of varying intersectionalities come together to fight to keep families together. As we all know, no human is illegal on stolen land. But there's a word that I kind of want to dissect that we've been hearing a lot in regards to this situation right now, and that word is asylum. Now, what does that mean? Asylum means the protection granted by a nation to someone who has left their native country as political refugees.
That is legal.
Now, what are people seeking asylum from? That can mean a lot of things. And there isn't necessarily a reason needed to immigrate to a country. But let's go back into some history and figure out why people might be seeking asylum in the United States. My father and my grandfather immigrated here from El Salvador in 1975. He was 6 years old. That is 5 years before the Salvadoran Civil War, a war that would last 12 years. A war that sent death squads and massacres onto its people. A war that the U.S., the United States of America, spent billions of dollars to support with military assistance. And this is just one of many examples of how the U.S. has intervened in Central America as a whole. Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica have all suffered greatly, not only from recovering from colonization, but also from U.S. intervenence. And now, as these countries still work on recovering and picking up the pieces from murder and war and poverty, and when these families come here to seek asylum, in sickening irony, we are now telling them no. And not only that, we're arresting them, we're keeping them in detention centers, and we're separating them from their families. But we know that the concept of separating families is not new to American history. This practice, if you will, has been used as a way to further oppress people of color, primarily, to Native American families, to Black enslaved families, and now to the families who are being held in detention centers. Our government continues to use this method because, unfortunately, it is an effective method of oppression and harm. Being forcibly isolated and detached from your loved ones, from your people, can take a great toll. It strips us of our humanity, of our dignity, and of our culture. It depersonalizes us. It disrupts our subconscious, and it leaves lasting trauma. But there are other ways that our country also likes to separate families, namely that being mass incarceration. The wrongful arrests and murders of particularly Black people in this country cause family separation in their own regard. It strips us of our humanity, depersonalizes us, and also leaves lasting trauma. It is meant to put us in fear and to make us believe that we deserve this type of treatment and that there is no way out. This is why we continue to fight back against police brutality. This is why we say no new youth jail. And this is why we say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter! 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 As we gather here today to demand justice for those in detention centers and at the border, we must realize the intersectionalities between us, as our government is determined to uphold the systematic oppression it continues to put on Black and brown bodies. This is only the beginning of the fight. And even as we start a week's worth of action, we know that this fight will have to continue even past that. I want us all to take a pledge today, especially if you are here as an ally, so that we can promise to ourselves and to our communities that we will do everything we can to continue this fight. If you would all repeat after me. I pledge to fight for Black and brown bodies, to be on the front lines, to volunteer, to donate, and to do everything I can to keep families together. Let's keep it going. Familias unidas.
Familias unidas.
No divididas.
No divididas.
Familias unidas.
Familias unidas.
No divididas.
No divididas.
Gracias a todos por su tiempo y su
Sí, de
apoyo.
nada.
¡Chile la migra!
El Salvador.
As I mentioned,
rightly so. But the criminalization of immigrants, particularly brown, Spanish-speaking immigrants, and brown and black Muslim refugees, and all of us who have any hue other than white, and thus are suspect of being those immigrants too. And too many of us have not sustained our moral outrage or joined our voices and bodies on the lines when imprisoned immigrants in Tacoma were on the hunger strike. Too many of us, for too long, have been fighting for a real comprehensive immigration reform. For decades and decades, my whole organizing life, we have told immigrants to sign postcards, to call Congress, to do something to reunite our families. And that is why when Pramila Jayapal, my senator, decided to step up and go to Congress, I saw my children who were still able to wear these shoes and knew that I was feeling called to stand up and take on a role that Pramila had made space for me for, to be able to be in these positions of power, this positional power as a state senator in Washington State and these United States, and take that power in a way to be able to open up the doors wider, so that never again will there be only one woman of color in our state Senate in Washington State. And this last year, Washington State stood up to hate, and whether it's in Basin City, or whether it's in Yakima, or whether it's here in this detention center that is being funded by federal tax dollars right now. Voting this year, and I hope, as you guys have heard from the Dreamers, the importance of standing up for our right to organize, for our right to vote, for our right to make sure that we have people in office that will stand up, that represent and reflect our values in our communities, that you look to where immigrants are telling you to vote and you support them. One America, a PACE, Latino Community Fund at Progreso, so many organizations now that are Latino-centered and people-centered now rate your candidates for you. They help identify where they stand on issues. Will they be champions for Black lives? Will they be champions for immigrants? Will they make sure that they stand up when corporate greed, like at Geo, tries to earns billions of dollars on the backs of retaining and detaining Black and brown bodies in Tacoma? You will know where they stand on these issues. Support those candidates, phone bank for them, canvass for them, give them money, and support those organizations that are doing the hard work of making sure that when people are elected, they're held accountable, because that is important. In Congress, we will change who's in our state legislature, and we will make sure that regardless of what happens, we are going to stand up.
Here with all of you, and just look around at this beautiful crowd. Of faith leaders who are here today with us, because during these troubling days, when our hearts are hurting,
all I'm saying is this:
when the
all the brothers out there, Black people, they represented too out here. Black Lives Matters. You do not have to be Black to be out here. So come out next time and support. Just everybody, just support. Let's bring people together. Racism has got to go out the door. Racism got to go. I should make that a shout out here.
with their
Anyway, we're
knowledge
here
of
outside
religious
of the
scripture, but their hearts
Juvenile
are
Detention Center
devoid
here
of
in
any actual faith.
Federal Way, Washington, at the rally for deportation to end deportation and separation of families, kids separated from their families at the border,
who speak
and
about family values yet
it's just
seek
not
to
cool
rip apart
because families got to be
families.
together. Families got to be together, support each other.
Y sabemos que venir ilegal aquí es malo, no es que lo...
Oh, it's a video. Thank you.
Sabemos que no es que apoyemos que la venida ilegal, pero no se pueden separar los niños de sus padres. Eso no. Hay que buscar maneras humanas para hacer cumplir la ley, no separando a los niños.
Because the people united will never be divided. 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 The people united. We will not be divided.
And it's gone on for far too long. I know that it's gone on for far too long. I know that it's gone on for far too long. Oh, somebody is hurting my people, and it's gone on for far too long. And we won't be silent anymore. And it's gone on. I know that it's gone on. I know that it's gone on for far too long. Oh, somebody is hurting our children, and it's gone on far too long. And we won't be silent anymore. They won't be silenced anymore. And we can't be silent. We can't be silenced anymore.
No time? Donate! Use that money! We take it!
They're all very kind. I am their friend. I'm with many children whose parents do not have the rights they should, just because they do not have green cards. I'm trying to help as much as I can. What can you do to help?
This was out here deep today. Police was deep. Had this Mammoth police, the Burien police. Tomando la foto con los carros de policía.
Miren, estas
Burien
patrullas igualitas a las de El Salvador. Igualitas las patrullas de El Salvador.
Pues de los carros.
No, de las carros del policía, las patrullas de los policías de